You guys have been doing an absolutely fantastic job of this. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Some attribute this to Sun Tzu, some to Napoleon, whoever said it. The wisdom stands. Don't engage, don't argue, just smile and walk away because we are winning bigly. I'm not even really going to miss MLB because every time I want to see a home run hit, all I do is go watch a Governor DeSantis news conference. Even 60 Minutes failed miserably to try to deceptively edit comments that were made. They have no idea who they're dealing with. The governor is a United States Navy trained JAG officer. Read lawyer. You are not going to get him in a gotcha moment. You are not going to get him to say something that isn't accurate. He knows how this game works. It was his job. Some guys are door kickers. Some guys are snipers. Some guys are Navy SEALs. My job was human intelligence. This guy's job? He was a lawyer, trained by the military. They have no idea who they're dealing with. They cannot stand to admit they were wrong and Florida was right. And the proof is out there now. The state with the most restrictive, draconian, tyrannical lockdown is the number one state for the resurgence of COVID. Fact. Michigan. You wonder why I pick on it? This is why. This is why. Governor DeSantis and his wife are going to put on a clinic showing how you deal with misinformation and how you deal with the media with facts. You don't have to get upset or point fingers or call names or complain about unfairness. You just educate yourself and you stay prepared and you listen and you stay disciplined and you don't get upset and you don't get emotional. This is the mistake the media is making. And I can even tell them this, and by the media, I mean all of the left. Because truly, they're all the media. Everything they do, and this is so important, you guys, you got to listen to this. You've been doing a great job, but there's starting to be a few little cracks with people getting emotional about this, that, or the other. You have to remain clinical and cold and fact-based. That is how you win. The governor and his wife, they don't get upset. They just educate themselves. They understand what's being said. They have a command of the facts. And they move forward. The reason I've brought up this image, it's from a live stream from maybe a month ago now. And it was the governor and his wife and a bunch of people from different sports organizations, not the MLB. And they were talking about the Resiliency Florida program, how we were going to get ahead of this mental health issue and how we were going to empower kids to improvise, adapt, overcome, and rise above and do better and get beyond this. A reporter at this little event tried to corner our first lady on a topic really more appropriate for the governor, thinking that he had an opportunity for a gotcha moment. And she eviscerated him. She absolutely destroyed the guy. It was an amazing thing to watch. The room went silent. It was one from one of my live streams about a month ago. I'll see if I can dig up the link. It's an amazing thing. But it's more than just our governor. I've talked about the other people that surround our governor, the other lions, so to speak. But there's a bigger argument being had, a global one. The world is changing. And the U.S. is going to have to, and by the U.S. I mean the states, find a way to adapt to it. And this is really what today's video is about. Robots threaten to replace hundreds of thousands of oil and gas jobs by 2030. Now, some are like, wait a minute, Florida's not an oil and gas place. Why would you care? Well, there are places in this country that are conservative, Louisiana, Texas, that are oil and gas places. Those jobs, those human jobs, have been historically some of the best, highest paying jobs in the region. The world is changing. And the places in the world that will be bringing oil to market in the next 100 years will be doing so with labor that works a lot cheaper. U.S. oil and gas companies are going to have to find a way to cut costs, and it's going to come at the price of human jobs. Now, once again, great, Florida Maquis. What does that have to do with Florida? The U.S., meaning the states, need to adapt to shifting to a service-oriented culture. It's something that Florida has been doing for decades. Tourism and service-based things that robots really can't do. Yet. Not for a good long time. People come to Florida, they want to have that personalized experience. And that's something that Floridians take very seriously. The businesses, the hotels, the service providers. It's something that if you don't understand it, you're going to be left behind. It's just that simple. And there's 2 or 3 articles out about this. Here's one from, believe it or not, actually CNN doing some reporting accidentally again. Maxar satellites showing this huge Russian military buildup in the Arctic. They're doing this because they are opening up the sea lanes. And they're going to want to control getting oil and gas to Europe and other locations by going over the Arctic. They've also talked about this Poseidon in a boat, the submarine, automated submarine that has this huge missile that can do an untold amount of damage, can take out an entire carrier group, can cause a tsunami, can take out a coastal city. This is the problem. Much like 100 years ago, this country had to shift from being an agrarian society to being an industrial one. And there were people that tried to hold on to the old ways, and they were casualties of reality. It's just the way things are going. America, meaning the states, are going to have to somehow find a way to shift. We've been a consumer society for a long time. Now we're going, going to be a service-oriented society. It's just going to be the way. The jobs of the future are not going to be the jobs of the past. We're still going to have farms and we're still going to export oil. But big oil is not a patriotic business. In fact, from 1975, and we talked about this a little bit in the investigation into Venezuela, from 1975 to 2015, it was illegal for oil companies, big U.S.-based oil companies, to pump U.S. oil and sell it on the world market. It was called the oil export ban. All oil that was pumped here had to be used here first. And this came out of the early 70s with the embargo, the Saudi embargo, trying to make, quote-unquote, America energy self-sufficient. Well, it failed miserably. It got repealed in 2015. And now U.S. big oil, also happy, can now take our oil and sell it on the open market, which they are doing because there's people that'll pay more. Gas prices are going up and up and up and up and up, and you think, wait a minute, I thought we made oil. We do, and we sell it. because big oil is more concerned about their bottom line than they are concerned about your gas prices. It's just that simple. America is richer than everyone else, so the world is saying they can afford to pay more. And big oil is all about it. See, this is kind of the double-edged sword of capitalism. If you're saying, okay, we don't want the government involved in private business, big oil is a private business. That's what this is really all about. Which is why I've said keep your money certain places. And some have asked me to enlarge this map so that you can kind of see it and talk about the colors a little bit. West Coast I have in kind of a pinkish, I've called it the Empire of New Sodom, because that's what it is. It's the only group of people that have any real power or control. You can't criticize them in any way, shape, or form. So every place from Washington all the way down through Arizona, I'm sorry, based on the events of 2020, November, you are a client state, as of right now, of California, Southern California. The blue states, I know there's a lot of conservatives out here. Unfortunately, so much of this land is controlled by the federal government. You might be able to operate in an alliance if you would get together and work together to combat the effects of Washington, D.C. and the Northeastern liberals, but that's what you would have to do. These two states here, New Mexico and Colorado, are lost causes. It's just a corridor of drugs. Mexico, right through New Mexico, they just ignore it and let it go to where it's legalized in Colorado. The Midwest is going to be a wasteland. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, and we've already covered Michigan and why, are completely all now controlled from Minneapolis, St. Paul, Chicago, Detroit. They control this whole area. Indiana and Ohio seem to be holding the line. I wouldn't live there. If I were in one of these states and I was trying to get out, this might be a stepping stone. The Northeast is just a lost cause. Pennsylvania, New York, everything like this, all lost cause. Same thing with Virginia, controlled by D.C. The southern states are the only place left that are operating constitutionally. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, southern North Carolina, and of course, Florida. This is the only place you're going to be successful, only place you're going to be happy. If you believe in the Constitution, if you believe in freedom, if you believe in the values of our founding fathers, this is the only place to be. The farther south, the better. So, anyway, I just wanted to cover that real quick. Vote with your money. You guys are doing a great job. You really are. You're doing an absolutely super fantastic job at this. But just be very careful not to get involved in any kind of emotionalistic based discussions with the left. Let them do their little rants. Let them do their little thing. They are rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic up north. It's only been not even 3 months yet, and things are already starting to crumble. Then a year, it's going to be over. And it's going to be more and more and more about who has and who doesn't. And as we know, elections are decided by money. And in 2 years and in 4 years, there's only going to be one group of people who has it. There's going to be another group of people who doesn't. And that's going to be a good day. God bless. Have a great week. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.